So good morning everybody, welcome for our lesson today. The other day we are looking at the population of Kenya. We looked at some of the characteristics of the population of Kenya. So we want to look at the characteristic of population of India. We said we shall compare three countries, that is Kenya, we have India, and then we have Germany. And then when you look at the characteristic of Kenya and the Indian population, it's almost the same. Difference is only one, which we shall look at. So let us look at this. We say that so characteristic number one of Indian population is that most of the people are youth, just like Kenya. Most of the people are youth, or you can say young. So most of the population of India, we have a lot of young people. The same with Kenya, we say like that. Then most of the population is unemployed. Unemployment rate is high. So unemployment rate is high. So you'll find that those people employed, they are very few. Then most of the young people, they are not employed. So that's what you're talking about. Then also we are saying that there is what you call high dependency ratio. Then when we talk about dependency ratio, then we are looking at the number of people who depend on others. They are very high. Because remember, we have said unemployment rate is high. It means most of the young people are not employed. So they depend maybe on their parents, maybe their guardians, and very many people in the society. So dependent ratio is very high. Then also we are saying that there is what we call high birth rate. High birth rate. So when you look at the population of India, keep on growing every now and then. So there is high birth rate. And then we have high death rate. High death rate. There is high death rate also. The more the people dying, also the number is very high. Birth rate is high. The same also the death rate is high. Then we have high mortality or infant rate. Mortality rate is the death of young people, of young children below the age of 5 years, maybe when they're still in the womb or during delivery and so on. So there is high mortality rate. Mortality rate is death of young children below the age of 5 years. So India, most of the young people also they die, or infant. Infant are very very young children. We call them infant. Then we have also low living standard. So the living standard is very low among the Indian people. So most of the people cannot afford food, maybe once per day that it is, but most of them they are poor. What we mean is that the living standard is very low. And when we talk about living standard, then we are looking at how much times or how much a person can eat on a daily basis, maybe once per day. So you can see that's a low living standard. So the same with Kenya. Then we have low life expectancy. We said life expectancy is the maximum number of years which a person is maybe is expected to live. So you'll find that because of high living standard, maybe some people cannot afford, they are living a very hard life. So life expectancy becomes low. So most of the people die at the middle age years, that's around the 40s and the 50s. That's what we call low life expectancy. And then we have also most people live in rural areas. Most people live in rural areas. So in other words, we are saying that rural areas, they are highly populated compared to other areas. So when you go to India, you'll find most of the people live in rural areas practicing farming activities and so on. Then we have then also we have large families. So because we have said that birth rate is high, then we are seeing a large family where we find a large number of children in the family. That is what you're talking about. Then also we are saying that we have also high population growth. So the population growth is very high because of high birth rate. So the population keep on growing every now and then because of high rate. And then cheap labor. Labor are workers. So because there is high population growth, then there is a lot of labor in India. That's the main advantage of high populated country. So you'll find that we have very many people in the country. They can provide labor in industries and so on. Then lastly is that we have more female than male. No, more male than female, sorry. More male than female. Now, this is now the difference between Kenya and India. So, all this that we have mentioned, India and Kenya, they are just the same. When you talk about youth, the Kenya and the India, the population is made up of youth. When you talk about high birth rate, high death rate, high mortality rate, low living standard, high dependent ratio, then talk about large families, talk about the rural areas being populated. All these, they reflect Kenyan population except one. Kenya, we say that we have more female than male, but in India we are saying that we have more male than female. That's the only difference between India. So if you are well informed about the Kenyan population characteristics, then this one is not a problem. It's just the same. But the difference is this one. Kenya, we have more male or more female than male. Then India, opposite. More male than female. Just like that. So that is all about India. So we want to look at the characteristic of German population. So we want to look at the characteristic of German population. Now, German population is now opposite of Kenya and India. So most of the things in Germany, they are opposite to what we have been talking about. So that's what we want to look at. Now, Germany, we say to Kenya and India, most of the population are youth. But Germany, most of the population are aged or old. So when you go to Germany, most of the people there are aged or old because the government provides homes for the aged people. It's contrary to Kenya and India, where you find the government cannot provide homes for such aged people and so on. So the government is well concerned in Germany about the old people. They take care of them. After retire, they make sure those people, they have a comfortable life. That's what you're talking about, because when you look at Germany, we call them third world countries, those countries that are well developed. So that is number one, aged in Germany. And then number 2, there is a high life expectancy. High life expectancy. So it's around 70, above 70 years. So in Germany, because we have said most of the people they are old, they can live to around above 70 years. Because we have said they live comfortable life. So you'll find that the government provides for them, for those who don't have enough. That is also another point. And then the birth rate is low. Birth rate is low. So low birth rate. Then also death rate is low. Death rate is low. So we have low death rate, low birth rate. So why do you have low death rate? It's because of improved medical care and medical facilities. So medical care is well improved. Medical care is well improved to make sure that people are living good lives. So when you go to Germany, you'll find that in every remote area we have hospitals. They are well managed. We have aeroplanes which operate in remote areas to make sure that they save life of the people, like that. So death rate is very low because of improved medical care in Germany. Then we have most people live in towns or urban areas. So in other words, we are saying that towns are highly populated in Germany because most of the people live in towns or urban areas. So you'll find that towns are really well developed, well populated. Then most people are employed. Most people are employed in industries and so on. So when you go to Germany, most of the people are employed in the industries and agricultural sector and so on. So there is a high employment rate in Germany. That is why most of the people live in towns, because it's where industries are found and job opportunities and so on. And then we have another one is that they are small families. And when we talk about small family, then we are looking at a few children. Yeah. So when you go to Germany, you'll find maybe somebody or couples, they have only around 1 or 2 children. That's all. So means that they take care of their children up to where they want. So contrary to Kenya and India, where you find that a family has a large number of families or number of children. So when you go to Germany, we have small family, and then we mean few number of children in the family, 2 or 1 or even 3. And then low mortality rate. There is low mortality rate. We have said mortality rate is the death of young children. But when you go to Germany, most of the children, they don't die at the age or tender age or young age, because we have said we have what we call improved medical care. So there is no more miscarriage. They are there, but they are very few. No more miscarriage among women. Then we find that now mortality rate is very low. So number of children who are dying below the age of 5, they are very low. Then Germany, just like Kenya, are more female than male. Germany is also made up of more female than male. We have more female than male, slightly. And then we have also what you call low fertility. Low fertility among women. There is low fertility among women. we say that in Kenyan population and India, you'll find that fertility among women is very high. That's why you have population growth is also very high, birth rate is high. It's contrary to Germany. Germany, there is low fertility among women. So that's also contributed to small number of families and so on. And then we have unevenly distributed distribution of population. So in these countries, all these countries, there is an even distribution of population. What do we mean by an even distribution? We mean that now we have said in Germany, most of the people live in towns or urban areas, meaning rural areas are not highly populated. So that's what we call an even. We have said Kenya and India, most of the people live in rural areas, meaning towns are a bit having a high population, but you cannot compare with the highland areas. So that's all. So this one apply to all population in Kenya, Germany, and India. So you'll find it that. And then lastly, I want to finish with the note. So we have 2 points here, note or NB. The main factor that has contributed to low mortality rate and the rapid or high population in Kenya or in Africa or in any country is improved medical care. So we have said mortality rate is the death of young children, but because of improved medical care, that's one of the main factors that have made young children not to die. So that it is medical care. Then the main factor that has led to rapid population growth in Kenya, in Germany, in India, or any country is improved medical care, because nowadays we have vaccination of diseases like you have tetanus, measles, polio. So this one I've done because long time ago, before this vaccination, some diseases like smallpox used to kill very many children across the country or across the world. But because of improved medical care in terms of research, science, medicine, so it has made the population to move up or to go up every now and then. I think that's all about for today. Thank you for watching. So we shall continue next time.